Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Context Therapeutics stock, ticker symbol CNTX. Now, this is a stock that has gained a lot of traction on the internet and Twitter recently, being part of the Zach Morris Index. And I personally believe that this stock has a ton of tremendous upside in the near future, especially with some of the PR that we saw released this week during the breast cancer conference. So we're going to get into that, why I believe that this stock is currently trading for pennies on the dollar. And after that, hop into the charts as always, breaking down key levels, key indicators, and more so we know how to best play this stock moving forward. So without any further ado, leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. And let's get started. So here was the major PR announcement that came from the 2021 San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium. We saw that Context Therapeutics, which is the company behind ticker symbol CNTX, announced positive data from their ONA-XR drug in the early breast cancer stages. Talking about a study that they conducted from a Spanish cancer research group, just producing significant results in reducing specific types of tumors related to breast cancer. This is obviously a multi-billion-dollar industry, and having this drug that can combat, one of the most prominent and deadliest cancers is going to be an absolute moneymaker for this company. This is, just awesome news in general. And what really makes this better is just kind of how this company is gearing up and setting up for the next couple of years, and why, these positive results are going to translate into what is potentially and very well should be a billion-dollar company very, very soon. To get more into that, we're going to go into Twitter. We're going to look at just some, very important highlights from different people doing DD. So this one is from at Micah LCHHE. Kind of just talking about the finances of Context Therapeutics. Two very, very important things to talk about in terms of that. First off, they talk about kind of their current cash position and like where they are at fundamentally as a company. As you guys can see, that through their IPO and the private placement that came out last week, they believe and they fully expect to have enough cash to fund their operations into 2024. By then, they should be well on their way with this breast cancer drug. So that is a very good sign. And on top of that, we don't really have to worry about much insider, conflict here, because the lockup period for this stock is 365 days from their IPO debut on October 19th of 2021. So a full year ahead of time. So 10 months from now is going to be the first time where insiders can really do anything with their shares. Don't have to worry about that. And that's actually a pretty good sign, because a lot of times we see these lockup periods end a lot sooner. The fact that they have their lockup period for a whole year is another pretty positive signal that this company and the insiders believe they're headed in the right direction, and that this stock price and company's valuation is going to continue to go up in the future. And just kind of to sum it up on the DD side, here we go from at Eon Siriam. He just pretty much explains the picture about as well as you can. We got 11 million shares outstanding, a multi-billion-dollar treatment, and you do the math here. We have an $88 million market cap at the moment, with cash on hand till 2024, and already positive results coming from their studies about their breast cancer drugs. This is essentially a gold mine here. You just have to play it right, have the patience. And that's why we're going to review the charts, kind of figure out when the best times to buy in are. But clearly, as you can see, a very, very positive future for this company. I know there was some concern last week when there was the private placement news that came out, but as the stock market reacted and as we saw, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, anytime you see dilution on these small float, high momentum stocks. People kind of act like, the stock is dead and like momentum is going to leave. But, a private placement like this is actually kind of showing a sign of strength. It shows that institutions want to get in on these cheap prices, understanding that there's going to be dilution as a result of it, but they still believe that, over time, the price is going to go up and they're going to see a very, very solid return on their investment. That's essentially why they do it. So, yes, this is going to take, dilute the shares outstanding almost twofold, but all in all, it's still going to be severely undervalued. $90 million market cap right now for a company that, in a year or two could easily be worth over $1 billion. So very, very, very promising on the DD side. Now let's hop into the charts. As you guys can see, ever since the IPO came out and, Twitter kind of caught a hold of it, thanks to Zach Morris, we've seen very, very volatile movements both to the upside and the downside. So let's figure out where we're at right now. Very, very solid week. Obviously, starting off kind of rough. We saw that with the private placement news. We kind of saw that momentum died down a little bit and that there was a sell-off, kind of some panic selling in that sense, but the smart people bought up the dips. Then we got the PR going into Thursday overnight. We saw a major move. It was trading at $10 Thursday after hours Friday pre-market, but it did ultimately, not see that volume sustained for a continued move to the upside. And, it ended up being in a pretty heavy kind of downtrend. But, it did get broken towards the end of the day. We did see some volume come in and some buyers step in to start to overweigh the sellers. Unfortunately, Friday afternoon's volume isn't the highest. We didn't see enough for it to really start making a break back to the upside. Nevertheless, closed here at that 540 level. And, currently sitting in a very, very attractive position for buyers. I'd be very surprised if Monday, buyers don't take a look at this chart over the weekend and see that they have a golden dip opportunity here. But that being said, let's hop into our support and resistance level. So starting on the support side, we do have heavy support in this 510 to 525 range. We saw that kind of play a factor here on Friday. Even with the volume dying down, we still saw, buyers step in, especially when it, touched that 510 level for a second. That's kind of where we broke this downtrend and started to try to make a push to the upside. That's going to continue to serve as a heavy support level. Under that, we do have support at this 490 level and a lot of support at 460, 445. This is going to be a huge area where you see, big buyers step in if we do see this stock at these levels again. There's no guarantee of that. But like I always say, when it comes to support levels, I always encourage you, if you're interested in opening a position or adding to your position, to buy near these support levels. And by doing so, you're going to minimize your risk and maximize your upside. But speaking of upside, let's hop into our resistance levels. First resistance level is going to be right here at this 550 level. That's clearly a psychological level. It's also, served as pretty good resistance over the last few weeks. If we can get above it, we do have this area over here in the 560s currently where all of our, short to midterm moving averages are sitting. I'm going to hop into those in a second and explain them. But if we do get above them, the signals are going to turn obviously a lot more bullish. And then we're going to have to deal with this 580 resistance. Above that, you can kind of start to see it open up a little bit more on the charts. Our next resistance level would be at 620. After that, room all the way to 670. And then if we do make another push into the 760 to $8 area and clear it, that's really where you would start to see the fireworks come out. And we could start to see, kind of this company start to realize some of its true value. After that, you can expect to see a move to retest those highs that we saw at the beginning of the month with the current 52-week high at 1087 during regular trading hours. So that's what we got for support and resistance levels. As far as our moving averages go, we can see that these are all stacked up pretty tight. Obviously, this thing has only been around for a couple of months, so there's no really long-term moving averages we can play off. But we do have our 9-day EMA at 561, our 21-day EMA at 563, and our 40-day moving average at 569. So with this close below all these levels, that is a bearish indicator. However, keep in mind that this is a low float stock. This does have a lot of momentum. There was this big kind of unwarranted sell off here on Friday, so we could easily bust above those levels and kind of turn this stock bullish. But at the moment, indeed, giving off bearish signals on those moving averages. Those are just, something you got to keep in mind. This is going to be crucial to get above if we want to see us continue to push to the upside on the longer term trend. That being said, we can now hop into our other indicators, which is going to be the RSI and the MACD. So as you guys can see, like I said, hasn't been really a publicly traded stock for a long time. So once again, you don't get the best picture here compared to, a stock that has been around for a while, but nevertheless, as you guys can see, nothing out of the ordinary here as far as the RSI or MACD go. We are not in oversold territory. We are not in overbought territory. We are just kind of coasting along. Very, very healthy movement so far, despite kind of the volatile moves we've seen with this stock. So that is definitely encouraging. And I sure hope that, come Monday, we do hopefully have some good opportunities to buy dips near support, and then we will go and make this break for these moving averages. After that, we get into bullish territory, and as you guys can see through the brief DD that we went over, this stock does have so much more upside. So I'm very, very much looking forward to kind of exploring just how high this stock can go. But that's about all I got for this stock. Let me know what you think is going to happen next week. I'm always, excited to hear your guys' feedback. If you like this video, hit me with a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions for me, let me know either in the comments or you can hit me up on Twitter. I'm always happy to answer them. And aside from that, have a great rest of your weekend.